after a poor effort in Miami, this was really an exceptionally good effort. And the stat to look at is the rebounding, because that's an effort stat, and it's 47 to 28. And so, these guys responded extremely well tonight, without, two of our top players. And so it's a tough game, tough all the way. Their shot making was ridiculous for the greater portion of the game. Lloyd went to his own in the fourth quarter, which threw their rhythm off, and the guys did a great job of executing in the zone, and Myles had a couple of really big blocks at key times. And, that's the difference in the game. Caris has obviously proven that he's a hell of a starting point guard, along with being a hell of a starting two guard. And so, we're hoping that this thing with Malcolm and Domas is not a long-term thing, and that we can get back to being more intact sooner than later.
The game really turned between the third and the fourth quarter. As you noted, there was that decision to go to zone. Houston only had 5 points in the first 8 or so minutes of the fourth. What went into that decision, and why did your guys have so much success executing it?
Well, we had gotten away from zone for accountability reasons defensively, but we knew coming into this game that this is something that you can do to disrupt rhythm at times. And this is a rhythm team. So, we had a walk through at 4:15. We did a few reps in our zone. Guys did a good job of feeling their way back into it. And they just did a good job. Zone's a hard defense. It's a harder defense to play than man-to-man, because you have to really communicate. You have to really see things. And then as the clock goes down, because you're not guarding a specific man, you've got to find a man and block out. And so, they just did a terrific job. And, they scored a few baskets, but it wasn't like the barrage that they had hit us with in the third quarter. And obviously, Caris' foul trouble contributed to that. So, it was a game that we needed very, very badly.
When you're as shorthanded as you are, it seems almost vital that guys like Caris and Myles play well. They combined for 56 tonight. What did you see from those two?
Yeah, I thought Myles was sensational. I mean, I thought his offensive decision-making was on point. He just, it was a mixture of, he hit a three one time, he hit a couple of mid-range shots, he attacked the rim, he made some nice touch passes. And, in doing so, he only had 2 turnovers, and he handled the ball an awful lot. And so, he was terrific. And he just had a real sort of calm poise to him tonight that I think was a major part of our team getting through that difficult third quarter. And look, Caris LeVert, he's a stone cold attacker, man, and he knows how to win. And if you put the ball in his hands the way we did tonight, he makes really, really good plays. And so, I congratulated him after the game. It was a hard game. I mean, Houston's got every single one of their guys, and they're at full strength. And Green comes back tonight and makes 6 or 7 threes. It's just stuff that just keeps coming at you when you're having a season like we're having. And the guys just they fought it off. So it was great to see.
You leaned on Brad a little more with both Malcolm and TJ out a little bit recently. This game you started Caris instead, though. 11 assists. What led to him becoming your starting point guard tonight, and what did you like about the way he filled that role?
Well, I think it's important to get your 5 best players starting the game, and look, we got a lot of good players. You could make arguments that a couple of the guys off the bench are, as good as the other guys starting. Who cares? This is one of those nights where none of that stuff matters. It's just the 5 guys that are on the floor are fighting for each other. The guys on the bench are supporting them, waiting for their opportunity to contribute. And, that's how we're doing business tonight. But look, Caris LeVert he's an exceptional human being. He's just one of the most high character people that I've met in this league in 38 years or however long it's been. And he's finally healthy. So this is this is just great to see. And it's great to see him play with this kind of joy, just and you could tell, when he went out of the game, I think we were up 3 or 4 or whatever it was, and at the end of the third, we were down 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, or maybe down 5, and he came back in, and then the thing turned right back around.
What do you think it says about Caris to come out, have 7 assists in the first quarter and 11 points in the fourth quarter, and like you said, be able to be a stone-cold attacker, but just in different ways, if that makes sense?
Well, experienced playmakers in this league know that early in the game is the right time to get the ball moving, get guys involved, get guys into the game. And then as you get into crunch time, if you're the best guy to attack, you gotta put yourself in position to do it. We kept the game very simple for all of our guys. Our crashing was good tonight. We created a lot of second chance opportunities, and he really had a great mixture of attacking the rim, attacking at the mid range. He knocked in a couple of threes. I think he knocked in 1 or 2 threes, and the assists, speak for themselves.
Rick, I imagine this is one of Myles' season lows for three-point attempts. Is that merely a function of him being the only big out there, so he's got to be close to the rim, or is that him deciding y'all need that, or is that you telling him you got to be there? How does that happen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, tonight was a different set of responsibilities for him. Normally Domas is our 5-man, and you've seen Myles around the basket a lot more in situations where teams switch on to him. He's been doing a good job of herding switches. But tonight he just had a great feel for what was needed. And, if they're going to switch pick and rolls, he had great patience. He had great poise. He scored, he was fouled, and he made a couple of really terrific passes at the end of the game. So I was really happy for him. I think he's a guy that's made big sacrifices here. He's a center. Really that's his natural position. But he's proven this year that he is a really good power forward. And tonight he proved that he'd be one of the top centers in the game. As we think Domas is too, if he played center full time. So, but the important thing is nobody played like any of that stuff mattered. Everybody just played the game pure, and that's for us. If we're going to win, that's how we got to do it.
You got Jenny back. Unfortunately, lose Mike. This has been 6 games now, and you'll probably have a few more, unfortunately, where you're missing at least a coach. How challenging is it to overcome a shorthanded coaching staff?
It's not easy. It's not easy at all, but that's why Zoom has become a very good medium for meeting and doing things. And hey, if you guys all go and get a test right now, I guarantee at least 2 or 3 of you are positive. I mean, that's the world we're living in right now. And so it looks like if you go by what you read, the NBA is in the process of making some adjustments. I came off of 10 days feeling great with no symptoms. Jenny Busa came off of 12 or 13 days, because they had some snafus with samples and stuff going to New Jersey or wherever they do the samples. And, now they're talking about making it a 6-day quarantine. So we'll see what's what, but, everybody is adjusting to, a new set of normal circumstances. And, and I don't think we have any choice but to kind of go with the flow, and as the rules and provisions have to change, we have to change with them. So, but we've been blessed so far. Our team hasn't been hit hard. Houston hasn't been hit hard. They have every single one of their players tonight. But we're all knocking on wood in those situations.
Fluctuated, but you overall, I think, have continued to put in pretty strong performances. What's the key to you to staying ready and remaining professional?
Just trusting my work. Like you said, I don't know how much I'm going to play, but when I do play, I want to help the team win. So whether I play 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I just try to, make plays on both ends of the floor, and make shots.
You're obviously a gifted natural scorer. When the Pacers are missing as many players who are capable of scoring as they are tonight, do you try to step up your game at all or be more assertive on the offensive end to try to fill some of that void?
I just try to play my game. Coach, he put the ball in my hands tonight, and I tried to make the right play, whether, I score the ball or if I, put somebody else in position to score. So that was my mindset, just try to play my game, be aggressive on both ends.
Jeremy, with obviously having a couple guys out, it opens up more opportunities for you and others. But what do you think of the way Caris kind of shouldered his increased workload, and not only like the scoring department, but also distributing and kind of being the Malcolm when Malcolm isn't here?
Yeah, I think he did great. To start the game, his energy, he played great defensively, but he was getting people involved. He had 4 or 5 assists in the first quarter. So I feel like he did great at getting everybody going, and he's a great scorer. So as the game went on, he found his spots to score, and so I think he balanced that great and really got our team going.
And then Rick said you all played the game pure tonight. How much fun was that to just have the ball moving? I mean, you had 5 assists in 23 minutes, and it seemed like everyone got a piece of the action.
Yeah, it was fun. I think we just really tried to play hard, but have some fun out there, and that's what we did. We was moving the ball. I don't feel like anybody cared who was scoring, who was, putting the ball in the hole. I think everybody was just moving, finding mismatches, finding, the open guy, and it definitely worked out tonight.
Jeremy, 11 shot attempts, most you've had in a game this season, 5 assists, second most you've had in a game this season. What kind of led to your success in being able to find crevices in their defense tonight?
Again, I was just trying to be aggressive, and my teammates was finding me. I think they were setting great screens for me. I was, open coming off the screens, and then also, like I said, when I was, relocating around the 3, Caris and Brad and Chris, those guys was, finding me when I was open, and, I just tried to knock them down.
I just want to ask, like, other players this. What is your perspective of Myles Turner when he gets, like, those rejections that kind of changed momentum? I know he had one on Jalen Green, and like the very next play, he erased another shot. So as his teammate, when you're seeing him do that and anchor the defense, how much does that just invigorate you all?
It's huge. Energy plays. It gets the crowd in it. It gets us, excited. We get to get out and get some easy buckets. Because, if he didn't block those shots, they get a layup, they pull within however many points, it would have been a much tougher game. But I think those blocks was huge, and just it's a momentum changer, and then also it kind of takes their breath away as well. They working hard to get buckets, and they think they're gonna get one, and they get it blocked. It just hurts their momentum, and it helps ours tremendously.
Hey, Jeremy, as a guy who's been in the league a lot of years, I hope you can speak to this. Something Carlisle said. He said that Myles has sacrificed a lot to play with Domas, and he's a center, but he's proven he can play the 4, but he's a great center. And tonight we saw that. Just what you're a veteran, what is it like for you to watch a guy like Myles that maybe is sacrificing, but it's right, and they'll tell him what he sacrificed, money, points, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta sacrifice on the team. As you saw tonight, Myles can score the ball, but there are some nights where, we don't need him to score 30. So he sacrifices shots, sacrifices offense to be our defensive anchor. And like I said, as you saw tonight, he could score the ball, but in his position, he's a great shot blocker, and he's also a great three-point shooter. So sometimes, like I said, he not gonna get all the shot attempts he wants, because on a nightly basis, he's our anchor. He's an elite defender, and he's a great rim protector. So sometimes you gotta sacrifice, but he does a great job with it, and I don't think he has a problem with it.
Caris, that game changed pretty drastically between the third and the fourth quarter. The decision to go to zone, why do you think you guys were able to execute it so effectively?
I think it caught them by surprise. You know, we haven't played zone in a couple weeks, so I don't know if they even, scouted against it. And they were scoring against our man. Jalen Green was getting some open looks. Their penetration was working. The young fella inside was, using his pivots, getting to the rim. So we had to switch it up, and we switched it up at the right time, and it worked for us.
You had stretches where you were kind of in pass mode, assist mode, and having success there. You had stretches like down the stretch where you were kind of taking over in a scoring position. What goes into your mindset and the reads that you're making, especially without Malcolm there, and you kind of have to shoulder more of that load?
For me, it's an easy position to play. I've continued to say that. It's just easy for me. So I have a good feel for the game at that position. I know, kind of what the game needs at certain points. So it's just instinctual. I don't really think too much about it.
Caris, how do you, maneuver around or get through the fourth foul? You got to come out, but then obviously you come back in and you finished it out.
It was tough, especially because I felt like we weren't getting the same love on the other end. It was definitely a lot of bump fouls that were being called against us that we felt like we were being aggressive going to the rim. We weren't getting the same one. So it's hard to kind of fight that frustration a little bit, but I think we were smart, especially in the fourth. We didn't foul too much. I think in the third they got in the bonus super early, so they were shooting a lot of free throws, and they kind of got their confidence up a little bit. So I think in the fourth we kind of just stopped fouling as much, and I think the zone definitely helped that.
You remember you scored, I think it was the last lead they ever had was 96, 95, and you drove the rim and scored, and you wanted a foul and didn't get it. And I don't see that mad very often. Why were you so upset, fired up? Did you recognize the key moment of that game? Or I'm not trying to get you to complain about the refs. You were clearly just going for it, angry.
Yeah, I was. A lot of times I talk to myself, get myself going. It was kind of a slower game in the second half for me with the fouls and things like that. So I was just trying to get myself going, and I know when my teammates see that from me, they kind of get going as well. So it worked for us, and we kind of went on a run right in that moment.
You got the foul next drive too, remember?
Right. Yeah, it works that way sometimes with the refs.
Is there a reason you brought is that the game ball or did you brought it in?
Nah, I
or-
just carry it sometimes, to be honest with you. No
That's
rhyme or
just-
reason.
Season high with assists.
Yeah.
I just thought, maybe some meaning behind it.
Started at point guard today for the first time this season. You've played that role a few times before, but Rick mentioned getting the best five guys out there in the starting five. How much did having that group with you make starting at point guard so easy tonight?
Super easy. The guys we have on this team, very capable when given the opportunity. So for me, it's just about empowering guys, making them get easy shots early on in the game, get their confidence up. And guys know how to hoop. We're all in the league, and I think people kind of forget that sometimes. It gets kind of lost in it, but we have a talented roster, and sometimes guys just need a little bit of confidence. So we got some easy looks tonight, and we were all flowing offensively.
Caris, about how much time did you guys spend on that zone during the walkthrough? Because as you said, you hadn't utilized it in quite a while.
I don't think we spent any time on it today, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit, but we kind of just know where to be at on it. And it was either Rick or LP who kind of suggested it, and it was perfect timing.
All right, so since I'm Pat now, I'm joking. But Myles, can you take us through the two back-to-back blocks you had in the fourth quarter and how pivotal those plays were to just get the win?
Yeah, obviously, I think I'm the greatest shot blocker in the world. I've always held true to that. That's something that I wear with pride. And, it was a block, but it was also a momentum shifter. And I think that's what's important, especially being here at home. One thing I reiterated in the huddle was the first team to play defense is going to win this game. And we were able to nestle in. Our zone helped us in that last little stretch, and, we came out successful.
And I know Rick talked about you and Caris stepping up. Obviously, you had a huge game. But just from your perspective, what did you think of the way Caris was able to, maybe not, I don't want to say defer, but be aggressive and distribute early in the game, but then also close it and finish it as the closer that he is?
Yeah, I like to call it aggressive recognition. And Caris has done a good job of doing that. You know, when Malcolm goes out and he has to take those point guard responsibilities, you know, we still want him to be aggressive, but he also has to set up everybody else out there being a point guard, having those responsibilities. You know, he does a good job with the late passes and, you know, picking and choosing his opportunities. So I think he did, you know, a hell of a job at that tonight and really, you know, helped us win this win.
Second 30-point game of the season, 10 shots inside 4 feet for you tonight. What kind of led to you being more aggressive around the basket beyond just being the only center in this one?
Well, I knew being the lone five out there tonight, I was going to have to be more aggressive. You know, a lot of my shots come from beyond the arc, but I wanted to assert myself tonight. You know, I knew they were a smaller team, and I knew I had a lot of opportunities down there. So I just wanted to exploit those mismatches, and, you know, our team did a good job of, you know, feeding me down there and trusting me, you know, to go to work down there.
Hey, Myles, I got two things. One is that you sort of answered this, but did you need tonight to remind yourself, prove to anybody else that you have that low post game? Have you ever doubted that?
Never. I'm very confident in my game and everything I do out there. So there was never a doubt about that. I have more opportunities tonight, and I just took advantage of my opportunities.
Okay. And the second thing is, and I'm not here a lot, so I don't watch you warm up. But tonight I did. You were one of the first guys out there, and you were back to the basket, ton of stuff, drills like that. Is that normal, or was tonight because of the lineup change? Were you getting more low post work in before the game?
I work on all facets of my game at all times. I work on my low post game before pregame shooting. I do it every game. You know, like I said, when I'm at the 4, you know, I get my shots up behind the arc. But you know, I have a post game. It's not something I seldom use this season, and I'm very confident. Like I said, in all facets of my game. You know, I can leave you with that.
Myles, how much was the zone implemented during the game, and then at the same time, what are your feelings towards that, just as it directly relates to you? How much does that change what you have to do? Do you like it, not?
I think the zone is one of those things that we shouldn't have to rely on. I think it's good to mix it in during the game because it really messes with the flow of the other team's offense. Because, you know, you have a set play, and you come down and you see zone, you're like, oh, zone, and it messes up, like, you know, the continuity of your offense. So I think it's good to mix in. But when it's working, you know, you keep doing it until it doesn't work. And I think we did a good job of neutralizing some of their players in that zone. You know, especially with the young team, sometimes they come in the NBA, don't really know what to do against that zone. It gets them stagnant and make them take shots they don't want to take. And like I said, it was beneficial for us tonight.
And in general, from an offensive standpoint for you, would you like ideally kind of a balance of what a little bit more inside like tonight, but the opportunity to, as you always have, shoot the 3? Would that be kind of ideal?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me personally, man, you know, I know what I'm capable of night in and night out. I've been asked, you know, to play the 4 position, and that's something that, you know, I've had to sacrifice in a sense. You know, we talk about sacrifice, we talk about, I think any great team out here has to make sacrifices, and I've been kind of that guy to do that. So an opportunity like tonight where I have to play the lone 5, I knew it was a next man up mentality, and that's how I approached it. And I went down there, and my team trusted me to go to work down there.
Myles, kind of a different question. Christmas coming up. We won't see you until after then. So what is the best gift you've given, and what is the best gift you've received?
So it's a funny question. I actually grew up Jehovah's Witness, and I didn't celebrate Christmas, and I still view some of my religious practices in that way. So just being around my family, that's the best thing for me. You know, my little sister's up here with me right now, and me and her just hang out, just watching her grow up and whatnot. I don't get to see her as much as I like to, so having her around for the holidays is nice for me.